But the military has no political mandate. So the military has no role in being in charge of the political governance of a country at any point in time, except maybe during an emergency. And that should be as brief as possible. This session, we are going to examine politics, policy, and public administration in Nigeria. To a large extent, our politics generates all sorts of interests, and it is, we can easily say politics can be very topical. Everybody seems to be interested in politics. I think somewhere along the line, we'll get to know more about why and how people show so much interest in politics and in the discourse of politics generally. And we would also probably know about who should participate in politics and in what ways people should be involved in politics. So to start with, politics becomes something of importance because of the central role it plays in the life of human beings. Once human beings come together in their cohabitation and in their co-relationship, politics exists. Politics is involved in every social, economic, and other forms of relationships in which human beings are involved. I've said that, I've established the fact that human beings from time to time cohabit. Human beings from time to time come together to relate in search of their social well-being, in search of their economic well-being. Human beings come together. It's so natural for human beings to relate because there is no feral man. No individual can operate forever only on his own or our own. People from time to time need to come together to realize particular goals or to ensure that some particular goals are secured. So what is politics? We have scholars, we have authorities who have defined and who have conceptualized politics in very different ways, depending on their station and their condition at different points in time. So politics can easily be looked at from the point of view of the management of the affairs of men. From time to time, as we relate, we have issues, and the management of this issue is an aspect of politics. Politics can also be looked at from the point of view of being war through other means, meaning that not the physical or the kinetic act of war, but in terms of disagreement. From time to time, we disagree to agree, and that's an aspect of politics. Politics can also be looked at from the point of view of authoritative allocation of resources. Resources are scarce, and something must be there to manage how interest through allocation of resources are taken care. Politics can also be looked at from the point of view of binding decisions, because decisions are taken from time to time concerning where the direction of things, where things go. Politics can also be looked at from the point of view of interest articulation and interest aggregation. What is of interest to you? What is of interest to another person? How are these interests articulated? How do I articulate my own interests? How do you articulate your own interest? And how are these interests aggregated so that every individual, whether a citizen or resident, has a sense of belonging and have a sense of being catered for and have a sense of being taken along. And finally, politics can also be looked at, or can be examined from the point of view of who gets what, when and how. How is it addressed? How are issues of interest addressed? How are people as individuals or as groups of individuals taken into account as to what is of interest to them and what is of benefit to them. So in a whole, in a nutshell, politics can be said to be for public good, meaning that anything that pursues the good of the people is politics. Having said this also, politics can also be said to be the master science if there is an aspect of science for every aspect of our life. And politics is in charge of coordinating all the aspects of our life. Then politics, according to a philosopher, should be regarded as the master science. That is the science that coordinates all other aspects of science. I think with that framework, we should understand the centrality of politics and the importance of politics. It indicates that since politics is involved in everything that we do, what we are doing at the moment has elements of politics. What we are going to do, what we are likely to do in the next minute or in the next moment has elements of politics. What we have decided not to do has elements of politics. It means that politics is central to everything that we do. It's central to everything that we have decided not to do. It's central to what we are doing right now and what we intend to do in future, or what the consequences of what we are doing right now are likely to be. And the consequences of what we have refused to do will be in the near or in the distant future. Politics is relevant for now, for the future. And in that, politics and policy are intertwined. Policy is the deliberate, purposive actions taken on particular subject matters, on particular issues of concern, the environment, education, health, economy, food security, everything that concerns man, that concerns the citizens, that concerns individuals, falls under policy. Policy takes care of every different aspects of life, whether entertainment, sports, international relations, foreign policy, civil service, and so on and so forth. Policy covers all of this, and it is under the control of politics as a broad umbrella. So who participates in politics? That is also a very broad area of interest. Politics is not an all-comers affairs. Whether we want to talk about who should be in charge or those who are to select those who are in charge. Politics is never an area for all comers. It's not an all comers affairs. There are people who understand better what concerns the rest. And to a very large extent, my people will say, the selected, the representatives of the people would have to decide on their behalf. Not everybody can decide on behalf of the society or on behalf of the country. There are people who will be selected, and that's the genesis, the origin of representative democracy, wherein people are selected or elected to represent the people. And to a large extent, all of this, if politics is what government or people in government does, again, maybe we should quickly also say that politics is all about the importance of government, because from time to time, our interests are likely to clash. There should be an authority taking care of the conflicts of interest. Otherwise, conflicts will, from time to time, degenerate into wars. There should be a recognized body that coordinates. And that recognized body, in most places, is the government. So what government does is also coordinated by an arm of government. That's the civil service or the public service. The public service with the umbrella public administration takes care of all the different areas in which government is involved. In the common parlance, public administration is described as government in action, where you can feel the presence of government is in public administration. All policies of government, all actions of government, all decisions of government, right from the formulation. The formulation is often done by the representatives of the people. People elect or select their representatives who will discuss. Like in Nigeria, we have at the local government level, we have the legislative council. We have the state assembly at the state level, and we have the national assembly comprising the Senate and the House of Representatives at the national level. Those are the representatives of the people. People elect these people to represent them, and they formulate policies to cover areas of needs of the citizens or residents of in their constituencies. So after these policies have been formulated, there is the need, because no matter how beautiful the formulation is, there is the need to implement such formulations. So the implementation of such policies and formulations is done to a large extent by the public administration. Public administration is to a very large extent represented by the civil service or public service. Public service is the broad umbrella, but the civil service is the core of public administration. The civil service is where you find government ministries, departments, and agencies where specific policies are implemented. Take, for example, policies concerning agriculture, policies concerning financial and monetary issues of government, policies concerning sports, entertainment, and so on and so forth. Policies concerning scientific and technological discoveries.
Travel beyond limits. Nothing required from you except your bags. From Nigeria to zero travel limits, DigiFly Beyond Limits.
Policies concerning health, policies concerning works and transportation, building of roads, building of dams, ensuring that there is adequate communication, there is adequate power, energy, and so on and so forth, and that the environment is also not polluted or degraded. So The ministries are in charge of all of this. Departments of governments are in charge of all of this. Agencies are also in charge of all of this. And all these agencies, ministries, and departments are coordinated by a body. That body is called the civil service. They do all of this to ensure that the different aspects of life are coordinated from the very basic, the very simple, to the more complex. Why has rain not started falling? Why is rain so much? If rain does not start at the appropriate time, what are the consequences? If rain becomes too much, what are the consequences? What are the consequences of exploring minerals? What are the consequences of droughts? What are the consequences of, and so on and so forth, issues that can come up that do affect lives of the citizens and their livelihood from time to time. All of this are covered by politics. All of this are covered by policies, and all of this are coordinated by the public administration, civil service in particular, in a country. So, because of the central rule of politics, I've said it earlier, those who would occupy position of authority in politics are supposed to be the best in any society. Not the best in terms of wealth, not the best in terms of the sophistication of the education that they have acquired. To a large extent, people even misconstrue education to mean certificates. Not only those who are certificated are the educated. Education differs, and education has so many aspects. The fact that you are able to speak big grammar in English does not imply that you are better educated than somebody who can speak big grammar in Yoruba language, for example, or speak big grammar in Arabic language, for example, or French, or Swahili, or any other language. So to a large extent, those who are well informed are the people, because governance at any level, again, people often mistake that once we say governance is all about what they do in government. You'll find elements of governance in every aspect of life, starting from the family. You see governance structure in the family. So for those who will be involved in governance at the political level, they are supposed to be the best that any society can produce. The ones called the philosopher kings by a political philosopher. They are supposed to be able to think beyond the ordinary. They are also supposed to be in charge of government business, which is the most serious business. Governance at the highest political level at any point in time is the most serious business, and the most serious-minded should be involved at that level. And again, that points to the fact that not everybody should be involved in politics. The question is also raised from time to time: is democracy truly the best form of government? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that democracy allows people to express themselves. But democracy also has to be guided, because democracy talks about number. The majority is not always the right. When you have a majority of buffoons, they are not likely to be right. Because people often make that mistake. We have seen democracy practiced, or democracy in practice, in so many climes, in so many societies, where at the end of the day, for reasons of economy, people choose wrongly. You are not likely to choose correctly when you are hungry, when you lack, when you suffer from major good things of life. Because in Nigeria, from time to time, we cite examples of countries that have done well. Because from time to time, you hear Nigerians, whether professors or just ordinary Nigerians, talk about whether military or civilian administration is good for Nigeria. The military has a role to play in modern governance, and that is to secure the territorial integrity of a country. They are also to be invited during period of crisis because the military is an institution of modern administration that has a key and central role to play. But the military has no political mandate. So the military has no role in being in charge of the political governance of a country at any point in time, except maybe during an emergency. And that should be as brief as possible. Finally, people would ask whether democracy is worth dying for. Anything that is good, figuratively, is worth dying for. Not dying as to commit suicide, but to put in one's best, to put in one's all that you have to ensure that good prevails. Anything that will lead to public good is what any right-thinking citizen should put his best to ensure that is what is obtainable in the country or place of residence. At the end of this session, I would like to implore the listening audience to a civic duty or civic responsibility, because for our society to be a better place for us to live, we all have a role to play, and we can play that role by either liking this video or by sharing what I've said so far, what we have looked at together, what we have examined together, by sharing or by making your comments. Thank you so very much.